So with the NFL season coming up, there are many QBs that were drafted in the top 10 and in the first round to take their team far and be a leader. Trevor Lawrence, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, and Justin Fields are just a few of the top QBs drafted. So which NFL rookie QB has the best supporting cast around him?
I think Trey Lance has the best supporting cast around him. He's on a team that was in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and he has an amazing defense with Fred Warner, Jason Verrett, and Nick Bosa. The I think he would fit perfectly because the offensive scheme that the 49ers run is a heavy run. All they do is run the ball, and that relieves pressure off the quarterback. And all Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance have to make is some key throws in key situations. They also have a mastermind coach in Kyle Shanahan. So it's hard for Trey Lance to fail in this situation. I think it's hard for any quarterback to fail in this situation. I think the reason why they drafted a quarterback is because of Jimmy Garoppolo's injury concerns. Otherwise, I think they would have stick with Jimmy Garoppolo if they had the chance. It also gives Kyle Shanahan the flexibility with this quarterback if Trey Lance is the starter. So he can run more read option plays and more bootleg passes, which opens up his receivers and gives the running back more opportunities.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. It has to be Trey Lance. The only reason the 49ers were bad this season is because of injuries. George Kittle, Jimmy Garoppolo, and running backs like Mostert, like they were all injured in the season. So with Trey Lance, you have a guy that can you have options with George Kittle, and you can run the ball. So I feel like I feel like he has the best supporting cast, especially with the defense on the other opposite side.
I think the only problem is with Trey Lance is that all these other quarterbacks you mentioned, like Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, they were all D1 quarterbacks. He was D2. So D2 isn't that competitive. And mind the less, he was on North Dakota State, which is always in the championship. They're always winning. I think Carson Wentz went there, and we see how Carson Wentz is now. I
Yeah.
so that's the only problem with Trey Lance is that he was never on a competitive division. He didn't play competitive players, but I think Trey Lance he could fit perfectly into the scheme.
Yeah, he was a huge kind of risk when they drafted him. A lot of people expected like Justin Fields to be drafted three, but if if Trey Lance does become good, like we never know how far they can go. And even though these teams have a good cast, the QBs have to be great in decision making and accuracy. So who will be the most successful rookie QB in their first season?
I think everyone would go with someone from the top three picks, like Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, or Trey Lance. But I want to go with Justin Fields. I mean, his athleticism and arm strength and his accuracy on the run are what stand out to me. And those are things you can't teach in the NFL. I mean, I think the problems that he had in college were his pocket awareness, which is essential in the NFL with QBs facing elite pass rushers like every week and working through his progressions. If you look at the film from OSU, you can see him focus on his first receiver, and if he's not open, he starts to roll out and panic. He also has a tendency to be slow on the progressions, and he only gets to his second receiver by the time the pressure is up in his face. But but this is the same player that destroyed Clemson in the playoffs. If Justin can solve these problems, he can be a problem in the NFL. I think, and then I think Matt Nagy is a great coach for Justin Fields. I remember Mitch Trubisky looked like a great quarterback when Matt Nagy in his first year. So I think Justin Fields has that same potential, especially behind Andy Dalton. And I think Andy Dalton can help Justin Fields teach him that pocket awareness and that same tendency and can fix his tendency of his progressions.
Yeah, I just feel like if I don't know if Justin Fields will play at all this season, especially when the coach said that Andy Dalton is the number one QB. So we'll see how that plays out. But I think Trevor Lawrence is like an absolute beast. He was locked in as the number one pick for 2 years now, and the Jacksonville Jaguars have added players like Marvin Jones, and with Trevor Lawrence, you can throw that deep ball to wide receivers, and I feel like with Trevor Lawrence, you'll be the most successful. Uh, Not saying that will be in wins, but just him having him on the team will be a great add. And will help this Jaguars team.
Yeah, I think the only problem with Trevor Lawrence is his commitment to the game. I think he said something along the lines of he's not, if he wouldn't like, he wouldn't play football or something like that. But I think his commitment to the game is a problem, but that's not something with Justin Fields. I think he was injured, right? He was injured his shoulder or something.
Yeah,
He injured himself, but he still played through it. And I think that's something that makes a great quarterback and a great leader. His mentality of the game is what I think is going to make him successful.
yeah. Also, Justin Fields have been saying stuff like he's gonna learn plays on his vacation and stuff. So, Justin Fields is a very committed dude.